I'm Lucas Warren, a paramedic in Chicago, the guy people call when life explodes. I'm trained to stay calm while everyone else melts down. Turns out that skill comes in handy at your own sister-in-law's wedding. I showed up to the Marble Gate Hotel in my one good suit, gave my name to the security guy with the clipboard, and got the head tilt. "Sorry, sir, you're not on the list." I laughed because what else do you do? "Check again. I'm the bride's brother-in-law." He checked. Still nothing. Then Sophie, my wife of 7 years, glided out of the elevators in an emerald dress that probably had its own mortgage. She clocked the scene, looked at me, and smirked. "Did you really think you were invited, Lucas? Strangers aren't allowed." That one word landed like a punch. Stranger. I nodded, swallowed hard, and let the medic in me take over. "Then I'll live like a stranger," I said, and walked out into the cold. Across the street sat Murphy's, a narrow cafe with coffee strong enough to sandblast a sidewalk. I slid into a window booth, hands wrapped around a chipped mug, and watched the glittering reception across the way like a man staring through glass at a life he no longer wanted. Inside, Chicago's social royalty swanned under chandeliers. Had front row seats to a world where my job was noble, but never quite enough. Margaret Doyle, my mother-in-law and reigning queen of side-eye, worked the room, all smiles and air kisses. Then her phone started ringing. She ignored it. It rang again, and again. By the third round, she bailed to the sidewalk, pacing in the cold, voice sharp, then shaken. From that panicked posture, I didn't need audio to know. The script had gone sideways. Later I'd learn. The caller was Robert Huxley, father of the groom, owner of a Rolodex that could move markets. Robert liked me, the real work guy who runs toward trouble. He'd noticed the empty seat at the family table and started asking why. Back inside, the speeches stumbled. The bride, Claire, Sophie's little sister, and the one Doyle who'd always treated me like a human, leaned to Sophie and asked the obvious, "Where's Lucas?" Sophie tried the smile and the lie. "Work emergency. You know Lucas. Claire didn't buy it. Names don't fall off lists by accident." She stepped into the hall, made some calls, and came back with a storm in her eyes and Barbara Huxley at her shoulder. Barbara, Chicago society's velvet hammer, didn't bother with subtlety. In front of 100 people, she asked, clear as crystal, "Why did you exclude your husband?" The ballroom froze. Margaret tried to smooth it over. Barbara cut her off. "Family is the scene. If you can't respect it, you don't deserve to marry into it." Claire took the mic. "Lucas paid my catering deposit when we were short. He moved me when Evan was out of town. He's family, and you threw him out like a stranger." Silence, then murmurs, then phones. My phone lit up too. Claire: "I had no idea. Please come back. You're my guest of honor." I looked at the hotel, at the frantic damage control through the windows. I thought about the lobby smirk, the 7 years of being almost good enough. "Enjoy your wedding," I told her. "I'll see you another time." Sophie called next, then texted. I turned, the screen face down, and sipped my coffee. Some invitations you don't accept, even when they finally arrive. She came home late, still in emerald, now wrinkled, eyes rimmed with mascara and panic. "You made me look bad," she said. First words. Not an apology. An accusation. Something in me finally unclenched. I even laughed a little. "You did that yourself. You excluded your husband from your sister's wedding and called him a stranger in public. Those were your choices, not mine." We can fix this," she stammered. "No," I said, calm as a code call. "I'll move out this weekend." She cycled through disbelief, anger, bargaining. But there's no spin that fixes contempt. I packed 2 duffels. Turns out my life fit easily into bags when you remove other people's expectations, and left. 6 months later, I lived in a small place by the lake with a view worth more than Margaret's antiques. The couch came from Craigslist. The walls had a nick from a failed dresser maneuver, and the quiet sounded like freedom. I still ran calls and rode sirens, still met the city at its worst and tried to leave it better. Only now I came home to peace. Instead of performance, Claire kept texting apologies and invitations. Guilt had her on speed dial. Evan, a better man than I'd given him credit for, bought me a beer and said, "You got screwed." My parents know it, and they're not shy about telling people. In that world, reputation is currency. Barbara and Robert had spent some of theirs. Margaret's stock dropped. Sophie showed up once with perfect hair and a speech about second chances. I listened, then told her the truth. "I'm not angry anymore," I said. "I'm just done being a guest in my own life." The divorce slid through the mail with all the drama of a utility bill. Here's what I learned in the glow of Murphy's neon and the chill of a January sidewalk. When someone calls you a stranger, you get a choice. You can audition for their approval, or you can accept the title and walk toward a life where your name doesn't need a list. I chose the second door. Strangers don't sit through dinners where they're tolerated. Strangers don't swallow passive-aggressive comments like vitamins. Strangers don't chase chairs at tables that keep shrinking. They build their own table, invite people who show up, pour strong coffee, and when the phone rings nonstop on the other side of the glass, they let it.